What's up, folks? I'm coming to you from my home studio again because this time I just wanted to put out a video. I haven't done one in a while for various reasons. So this time I was tagged by a couple of people on Instagram to do a Nendoroid hello, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that challenge. The gist of it is basically to just take a Nendoroid and do like a hello pose. I don't actually have one that I could use to kind of make like a Nendoroid version of me, so I'm gonna have to just pick a Nendoroid that I think would represent how I would say hello to somebody. So that should be a fun creative challenge. So let's see what Nendoroids I could possibly use. Okay, so here I'm looking at my Nendo collection. What would be good? What do you think, Bob? Ah, he's busy with stuff. What Nendo to pick? I think I would want a Nendo with some kind of funny expression. Let's see now. And they also have to be capable of doing the hello pose. So, wait, I have an idea. Right, and I think I've got it. It's gonna be number 728, which is Horo from the Spice and Wolf. So the reason why I want this one is, boom, drunk expression. I love it. This is how I'm gonna say hello. All right, here she is unboxed, and I think this is the pose that I'm gonna go with. And I'm just switching to my phone camera for a minute so that I can show you guys how I'm doing this. Basically, tucked under her skirt is a loop of floral wire. So I have these two I have this set up with two like prongs so that she can balance on one leg. Oh, I have also like the normal Horo figure comes with like not a tail but a thing that hangs off the back of the dress, but that keeps falling off, so I'm just not going to use it. So if you want me to be 100% accurate and faithful to the Nendo, that's not going to happen today. All right, now we're looking at my Nendo play sets. I'm just going to use one of these Good Smile made ones because I want to do this quickly. So here's the Japanese room. There's my spooky Ogi printouts. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use the classroom. I'm going to go with the Western room playset. So I'm going to, let's see if I can do this one-handed. I'm going to pull this out and get this set up. I'm going to need to make some kind of arrangement where it looks like Horo has been drinking all night. Oh, just a quick remark. Yeah, Horo's drinking booze. See, Nendoroids drink alcohol. They're 21 plus. They're not kids' toys, all right? Anyway, the set that I think I'm going to use is this Western Life playset that's made by Good Smile. It just pretty much fits her aesthetic. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and set that up. All right, so here's my setup. I've decorated the Western Life room set with some props that came with the Good Smile playset itself. We've also added a few extras. I stole these two sake bottles from my my Nadeko Medusa scale figure. So hopefully she doesn't stab me to death. But yeah, I just want to have like a little bit of set dressing, so to speak, around Horo. I mean, right here, she looks like a real alky, so that's the look I want to go for. So for lighting, I want to put something through this window that'll act like daylight, and then I'm probably going to add my fill light through this door. Okay, so right now I'm playing with the lighting setup. I want some of the light to come through this window to act like daylight. So I'm using these video lights. Normally I would use flash, but I just like to be able to control the color temperature of these lights without having to use gel filters. And also it's easier to work with on video. So for this light here, I have it set at 5500K. And I find that if you get a large light source and put it a slight distance away from the window, when it comes in, it is a pretty good approximation of how daylight actually looks when it comes through the window. And I'm trying to figure out the fill lighting situation, because if I put the light through this door, it looks pretty good, but I do get shadows on her face. So I might need to put in a third light here. So I'm gonna keep getting this set up and then I'll show you the final result. All right, so I finished tweaking my lighting setup. I moved this light here a little bit back so that I wouldn't get the shadow on this side of the face. So basically it's just a big rim light right now. I added this piece of foam core here because I saw that this LED light was kind of, it was lighting through this wall here. So I'm basically just using this as a big flag to prevent that. And then finally, I've decided to just give up on getting a light through this door. Instead, I'm just gonna put my second light right here in front. And I've turned down the output a little bit so that the face here is now pretty evenly lit. So I'm gonna take this shot. We're gonna have to fix up some things in post. For one, there's a big dirty shadow right here on the floor, which I think I'm gonna try to get rid of. And if I don't know, I'm thinking of also just maybe adding a couple splashes of wine to add a little more like movement to this image. So I'm not too worried about outside the window here because it's not gonna show up in the photo. And I think the angle I'm gonna pick is not going to be too bothered about what's in this mirror. So I don't have to think about those. I'm gonna go ahead and take the shot and then see what we come up with. Here we are now in Lightroom. I took a sequence of shots, but I already cut out the ones that I didn't want to use. So we're left with this one here. Let's go ahead and develop that. Okay, and it's looking pretty good. So first what I want to do is some spot removal and get rid of any of these dust spots that are showing up. All right, I think that's fine there. I'm gonna go ahead and make some of my basic edits. It doesn't look like I need to do too much to this image. For this stuff, mostly I'm just eyeballing. Brush over here, set that back to normal, and then lower the blacks just on this side. Don't want to go too much, but I want to take out some of that glare from the eye. I think that's pretty good. Maybe up the white level here. Well, let's see how that looks before and after. All right. Now the file is open in Photoshop. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is fix this carpet here. That'll be pretty easy. I'm just going to lasso this whole thing here. And then do a content-aware fill. All right, easy peasy. And do the same thing right here. I'm going to be a little more careful in my selection. And mostly what I want to do is get rid of the shadow. I'm going to content aware fill again, and that's looking pretty good. All right, last order of business is adding a little splash of wine. So what you can see here is a free water splash brush that I downloaded. So I'll link that in the description. But actually what I want to do first, I've made a layer on top of this. I want to mask off this cup. I'm going to make a layer mask, and then probably the lasso tool will be good enough. We basically just need to mask off this like rectangular chunk here. And I think I'm going to give it a feather. Okay, so I've been experimenting, and I think the technique that looks best so far is I'm gonna paint out the highlights. Okay, I'm gonna shrink the brush by just a little bit, so let's say 5 pixels. I'm gonna switch to my wine color. I'm gonna paint in like the actual splash of wine. So now it kind of looks like it's catching that rim light from behind, but you still got those more opaque edges here. So it's not super realistic, but what we need to do is blur this layer to make it look slightly out of focus. For that, I think a Gaussian blur will be just fine. Okay. I think for our purposes, that will be fine. Alright, I'm fairly happy with that. I think it's looking pretty good. So I think I'll just wrap up. Hopefully you've enjoyed this look at my creative process. Make sure to give me a like and a subscribe. I've also got a Ko-fi account set up if you want to be super awesome and give me a tip. I'll be posting this Nendoroid hello onto my Instagram, so look for it there, and hello.